Alright, let's keep moving on. So now we're going to subtract and add two fractions. Both mixed fractions and improper fractions, okay? Let's try an easy one. So let's try 5 over 4, right? 5 over 4 minus 3 over 4. Okay, so what we do with fractions is that if we add or subtract, we have to make sure that the denominator, which is the bottom numbers, we have to make sure that they are the same, and then we can subtract. So since 5 over 4, the denominator is the same as 3 over 4, we can just subtract them. Alright, so we subtract the numerator, so we subtract 5 minus 3, which is 2. Okay, and then that's going to be over 4. So we don't subtract the denominators, we only subtract the numerators. And then 2 over 4, we can reduce that. So 4 goes into 2, or 2 goes into 4 2 times. So 2 becomes 1, 4 becomes 2, and then the final answer is 1/2. Alright, let's try another one. Let's see. Let's try, how about 2 over 5, right, 2/5, plus 4/5. Alright, pause the video, and then we'll go through the process. Okay, so again, you have to make sure that the denominators are the same, and they are in this case. So 2 over 5 is denominator the same as 4 over 5. If they're the same, we can add the numerators together. So 2 plus 4 is 6 over 5. Alright, let's try one where the denominators are different. Okay. Let's try 6 minus 1 over 6. Pause the video, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so you're wondering probably, well, I have a whole number, 6, and 1 over 6. But technically every whole number you can write as a fraction. So if you have a whole number, for example 6, right here, you can rewrite that as 6 over 1. Alright, so any whole number that you have, you can rewrite it as a fraction by putting 1 as a denominator. Okay, so it's going to be 6 over 1 minus 1 over 6. Okay, well, okay, the denominators, they don't match, right? So we have to, alright, find the common denominators. Okay, well, since 1 and 6, well, they don't really have anything in common, what you're going to do is you're going to multiply 6 to this side and 1 to this side. Alright, so obviously if you multiply 6 on the bottom, you have to multiply 6 on the top. If you multiply 6 on the bottom, you have to multiply 6 on the top. And then if you multiply 1 on the bottom, you have to multiply 1 on the top. Okay? Now, the reason why I multiply 6 here and 1 over here is that if you can't find another factor that goes with each other, all you do is just multiply the denominator from this side to this side, and then this denominator to that side. That's the way you can get a common denominator. Okay? Alright, so if we multiply it out, 6 times 6 is 36. Alright, 36 over 6. And then this is just minus 1/6. Okay, so that's equal to 36 minus 1 is 35 over 6. And we can leave it like that. Alright, let's try one. Sure. Alright, let's try one with like a negative fraction. So let's try negative 1 over 3 plus 3 over 8. So we have two problems here. Well, actually, pause the video and then try to do it on your own. Okay, so we have two things here, right? So we got a negative and a positive. So we got to deal with that. And then we have also different denominators. So it's a two-step process, though it's not that long process. Okay? So if we have a negative fraction and then a positive fraction, we're going to, like decimal numbers, what we're doing, we add them. Oh, no, sorry, we don't add them, we subtract them. Okay? Now, obviously, the fraction so if the negative number is bigger than the positive number, then obviously we're going to have a negative fraction. However, in this case, 1 over 3, well, let's see. We don't know yet, actually, do we? Okay. So, let's try to find a common denominator. Okay, so 3 and 8 doesn't really go well to each other, right? Because the factors of 8 are 2 and 4. Factors of 3 is 1 and 3. So what we're going to have to do here is just multiply 8 to 3, and then over here bring the 3 and multiply that to the 8, right? So 3 times 8 in the bottom. So whatever you multiply in the bottom, you have to do on top. So you multiply 8 times 1. And then here, you do 8 times 3, and then you have to multiply the top, the numerator, by 3 also. Okay? So when you multiply it out, you get negative 8 over 24. Okay? Plus, okay, 9 over 24. So I guess in this case, with fractions, you don't really have to worry about, negative, positive, because like once you find the common denominators, all you do is multiply, or you add or you subtract. Okay. So in this case, we have a plus 9 and a minus 8. So like we're doing with the integers, right? Since 9 is bigger than 8 and we have opposite signs, we're supposed to subtract 9 from 8. Okay? So 9 minus 8 is 1. And then our denominator is 24. So our final answer is going to be 1 over 24. Okay, now let's try mixed numbers. So mixed numbers has a whole number and a fraction together. Okay, so that's another process in itself. Okay, so let's try adding mixed numbers. So let's do one example. So we have, say, for example, we have, let's see, negative 3 and 3/5. So when you're saying mixed numbers, it's 3 and 3/5. Okay, so whole number and fraction. Minus 4 and 2/5. Okay. All right. So let's just do this example together. So whenever you have mixed numbers, what you're going to do is this. You add the fractions together, and then you add the whole numbers together. Okay? Well, in this case, since they're both negative numbers, we actually add them together, and then our final answer is going to be a negative number. However, when you add the fractions together, right, if they become greater than 1, then what you have to do is you have to do some long division, okay, and then add that to the whole numbers. So for example, let's add the whole numbers together. So we have 3 and 4. So what is negative 3 minus 4? That equals negative 7, right? Okay, now let's add the 3/5 and 2/5. Now again, they're both negative numbers, right? So it's going to be negative, all right, negative 3/5 minus 2/5. Okay, so let's add those. So 3 minus 2, negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5 over 5. Well, that's equal to negative 1, right? Because it's negative 1, we're just going to add that or subtract that to negative 7. So the final answer is going to be negative 8. Okay, so let's see. Alright, let's try 2 more problems. Okay, let's see. Let's do one. It goes like this. So we have 2 and 1/3, right, plus a negative 1 and 2/3. Okay. So let's multiply the signs out. So it becomes 2 and 1/3 minus 1 and 2/3. Okay, so we're subtracting 2 numbers. Alright. So let's subtract 2 from 1. So 2 from 1 equals 1. Okay. Now we subtract the 1/3 and 2/3. So 1/3 minus 2/3 equals negative 1/3. Okay, so it's going to be equal to negative, alright, 1 over 3. So let's check that out. Oh wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Do something wrong here. No. Okay. Let's try another process. So for example, this 2 over 1 over 3, alright, we can rewrite that as 7 over 3. Okay. Now to do that, what you do is we can rewrite whole mixed numbers into improper fractions. So what we do is multiply 3 times 2, and then what do we get from that? We add that to 1. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. So 7 over 3. So we're going to subtract that from 3 times 1 is 3. And then 3 plus 2 is 5. So we just subtract those numbers and you get 2 over 3.